Shawn Ray never saw himself as a loser, not even during his toughest years. Reflecting on his career, he admitted that while he never felt he beat the legendary Lee Haney, he truly believed he defeated Dorian Yates. The years 1994, 1996, and 1997 were especially hard for Ray, moments when he felt he could have taken the title but didn't. Still, those losses never diminished his passion for bodybuilding. His journey was filled with joy, satisfaction, and a deep sense of accomplishment. Ray explained that his criticisms weren't out of bitterness but out of love for the sport. When he spoke out, it was to push for fairness and evolution in judging, not to tilt the scales in his favor, but to ensure bodybuilding continued to grow in the right direction. In the 1990s, Shawn Ray was one of the most consistent and admired pro bodybuilders. He ranked in the top 5 at the Mr. Olympia 12 consecutive times. Meanwhile, Dorian Yates reigned as one of the most dominant champions of the era. The two men were very different in physique, style, and mindset, and that difference became fuel for rivalry. In his reflections, Shawn has admitted, "In the 1992 I was 4th, in 1993 I was 3rd. In 1994, in a contest that I felt I had won, when Dorian had torn his bicep, came in with a bloated stomach, his color was off, it was clear he was visibly not at his best." He adds that many people backstage believed he'd nailed his physique and expected the win. The belief, "I had him." Shawn Ray's belief that he had beaten Yates at least on one occasion is grounded in his own review of the physique, the preparation, and circumstances. He states that he did everything right, was in his best shape, and still got second place behind Yates. This belief carries both pride and frustration, pride in his own work, frustration at the outcome. Why the rivalry was more than just physique. Contrast of styles, Yates brought massive size, dense muscle mass and intense conditioning, Ray offered aesthetics, symmetry, and polish. That difference meant they were often compared but also distinctly different. Judging and perception, Ray's comments hint at how judging can be influenced by reputation, timing, and subjective factors. Everybody who saw it felt that. When they announced Dorian in first, I was dazed and confused. Emotional weight, Ray says that placing second when he believed he had won was the worst thing, a mark on his career that lingered. Over time, Ray has talked openly about the rivalry, acknowledging both his respect for Yates and his belief that on at least one occasion he was the better man. For instance, "I was too young not to believe I'd beat Dorian Yates. I was doing everything a bodybuilder is supposed to do to position himself as number one." Ray's reflections carry lessons, that belief in one's performance matters, that difference in physique doesn't guarantee victory if judging and presentation sway differently, and that doping in the sport, injuries, and era effects can distort outcomes, though less emphasized in Ray's direct quotes. Believe in your work. Ray believed he had delivered his best, that conviction is powerful. Understand the game, success isn't just about muscle, but preparation, presentation, and context. Respect the rival, the very fact he believed he had beaten Yates doesn't mean he disliked him, rivalry can spur excellence. Accept complexity, wins and losses in bodybuilding aren't always transparent, panel shifts, trends, injuries, conditioning all matter. Conclusion. When Shawn Ray says, "I truly felt I had beaten Dorian Yates," it reveals a career-defining moment of belief and frustration. It reminds us that sometimes the margin between victory and defeat is razor-thin, and the winner on the scoreboard may not always feel like the winner in the mirror. For Ray, the moment wasn't about bitterness, but recognition of his own standard and a challenge to the judgment of the sport.